Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Man, it has been a disappointing start to the Jaguars season thus far.
It was obviously one of the worst losses we've seen this Jaguar team
I think it's in the top 3 in history.
Be caught by Shakur. First down. In Moore along the far sideline toward the goal line. Touchdown.
So they're 0-3, Jeff. 0-3. They suck.
And it feels like now or never we head to Houston.
As coaches, too, I think I put it on coaches as much as players, too. I mean, we've got to do a better job of preparing our guys and showing them every look possible in practice. And, you know, mistakes are going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen. But we've got to minimize them in order to have success.
And we all remember what happened last season when Jacksonville went to Houston.
Quarterback sneaky, extended the ball into the end zone. Touchdown! A 1-yard touchdown run by Trevor Lawrence, and Jacksonville extends the lead at NRG Stadium. Johnson puts it down. There's the kick. The 58-yard field goal it hits the crossbar. It is no good.
Saying that is, it is a long season, and we've been in a worse spot than this before, and we found a way out of it, and I got full faith we're gonna do the same.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Tom McManus, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, so Pocket said, how do I get more airtime? I've got it.
Good one.
Is he a reliable narrator? Will the Jaguars go ahead and right the ship this week? Good morning, all. This is Jaguars Today. Good morning, Dylan Denmark. How are you?
Good morning, Mike. Yeah, if this don't work, I don't know what to do, man.
You are like the Morgan Freeman of our times.
Oh, thank you.
You are the
America's
America's narrator, I think is
very nice.
Nice job.
That was great. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
You actually have a little gravitas when you want. I know you don't know what that means, but look it up later. It'll be fine.
Thank you. I didn't grow with a dictionary.
Both of you guys off till, Monday, Tony?
Yeah,
Bulls,
the game's going to be Monday night at 6.
Big matchup.
Yeah.
Oh.
District showdown.
Right.
Yeah, because it's going to be rough weather. Oh, no, it's not, is it?
Yeah, the weather looks way worse Monday than it does today.
Does it really?
Like for high school football, but it is what it is.
Hey, right, exactly. For all the folks out there that were really impacted by it, you lose your power here for a few hours, so be it.
No, right, we did.
We did too, and I was surprised, honestly. I was on the air last night, and the forecast called for the heaviest winds like right around 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Not a thing. Not a leaf blowing in my neighborhood.
Between 12 and 2, it was whipping pretty darn good.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, I even went outside just to check it out. My dogs don't really want to have to go out, so I go out and do the same deed they're doing it most of the time while I, wait for them to be done. But it was so nice, like, because it wasn't whipping as much. And I was like, man, it's a lot cooler out here. I may sit out here for a little bit,
Well, I give kudos to whoever got their butt up and got the chainsaw out.
No doubt.
On Wildwood this morning in St. Augustine. Because if you get a tree across that road, if you don't know St. Augustine, it's you got to drive all the way back. There's no offshoot that gets you around. Yep. And there were 2 instances where you could tell there had been trees laying across the road, and they got cleared by 7:45 at least.
Yeah, I hope everyone's okay out there. That wind was wild, man. That was whoo.
Oh, I'm not doubting it. I've seen all the videos and all that stuff. Yeah. I was surprised at how calm things were.
I normally don't get excited about storms, and I wasn't really thinking about this one at all. Not for here, of course, for the people who was going through, but man, that wind was unbelievable last night.
Anyway, hope you're all safe out there and the hatches are all battened down and all that good stuff. And if you are without power, you're listening to us in your car right now or whatever.
Or on your phone or whatever.
And hopefully your power is restored as quickly as possible. Hopefully the Jaguars' power gets restored.
Power up, baby.
At some point. What is their greatest power right now, Tom? What's the Jaguars' greatest strength?
Their greatest strength.
Yes,
wow.
And you can't include any specialists. No punters, no kickers, no snappers.
I think the running game maybe is probably out of all of it.
We looked at it, Tone. They're averaging like 5.4 per
They had
carry,
it going
something
last
like that.
Monday, or they had it going Monday. I mean, ETN had a few good runs. So did Bigsby. That one illegal motion is awful, but that killed it. But I think the running game right now. I don't know. Gosh, and I know you guys been through it ad nauseum, but you watch it again, 5 scoring drives in a row, 5 touchdowns. That first drive, it's 4th and 4. And Jerry Jones takes his eye off Shakir when he goes in motion. He thinks he's going all the way across.
He went across, took a step back.
I know.
Step or two back, and he followed him and kept going. Yeah.
Well, no, he thought he was going all the way across. Remember, he first came all the way around.
He went right to left.
Then he went
Then he
across.
took 2 steps right, and Jones put his head down and
thought he was going across.
Correct.
Right? And he stopped. He's wide open. So let's just say he doesn't. Let's just say he reads it perfect and makes the play.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3 and out.
Yeah.
Totally
or
different.
4 and out. But yeah,
because there was an extra play in there.
Well, it's 4th down.
Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean the other they scored on the other ones too because of different reasons and whatnot. I just honestly, I know, everyone wants this and that. I think most of it is attitude and most of it is preparedness. I'm telling you, I don't think individually they're as prepared as they need to be. And part of that's conditioning. I see a couple guys on defense. Now, granted, you get 11-play drive right away, just what was Cleveland? 17, 16 drives on that first drive?
It was 9 minutes. Yeah, I think it was 16
So, I mean,
plays,
still,
9
it's
minutes.
it is tough, but got to be in great condition, man. You got to know exactly what's going on. Credit Buffalo. They game planned us great, but that man, it's little things. Even like the first play I was talking about earlier on my podcast here on 1010XL. The first play, they run a little out to James Cook, and Devin's got him. And he doesn't see the pick coming. I mean, they're going to pick, the receiver's right there. So he tries to go through him. Well, you can't go through him. You'll never be able to go through him because it's going to stall you to get to your guy. Either got to go underneath it or you got to go around it. He tries to go through it. Cook's wide open. Now, that didn't kill us. But that was the opening play of their first drive, and I think it took it off balance, and we didn't know what the heck was going on. I really do. I thought that play, I don't think they were expecting that. I don't think they were ready for that. And I know Lloyd, there are a couple things that he didn't do that he did some things he does well.
Let me ask you, though, Tom, when you went into a game, right, and you think the opponent's offensive game plan is going to be one way, X, right? And then they show you maybe on that drive, hey, wait a minute, they're switching it up. This is what we anticipated. How quickly do you make the adjustment, though?
Okay, but just take that first play. I'm a man. James Cook's my man.
Gotcha.
So cover him.
There's
a rub route. Okay, well, don't go through the rub route. You're not supposed to go through the rub route. You got to go underneath or around it. That's like 101. Like, you know that in high school. You know that in college. That ain't rocket science. And you should see it. You're supposed to have peripheral vision as a linebacker. That's minor things, okay? But they're little things. Like the illegal motion. Called on, I think they called it on Cam. It wasn't Cam. It was Trevor telling Gabe to go in motion when he can't tell him to go in motion.
Yeah.
How do you not know that? Now, does the coach, I sit there and go, he's a 4-year quarterback. Now, one play, but guess what? That killed that drive. That was a great run by Bigsby. About 8 yards. Got him down to 20 somewhere, 22 maybe, something like that. That illegal motion killed it. You got to know that. And Doug's sitting there going, you can't do that. It's illegal motion. You know that the end guy in the line of scrimmage, unless someone replaces him, can't go in motion. He can step off.
Yeah.
Another guy step up and go in motion, but you can't just go in motion being the end guy. You know that in college, you know that stuff. So was that nerves? Was that, I don't know, what is that? But that shouldn't happen to 2 veteran players. Gabe as well. Although Gabe's coming across looking at him what's going on?
We're doing what now?
Why are you doing this, So just those things are killing them, Tone.
Yeah.
They're killing them.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's so frustrating.
As I was saying during crosstalk with the guys this morning, right before we got started, it does feel like if they had found a way to win one of those first 2, obviously the feeling in the city wouldn't be what it is right now, right? But you lose the first 2, and it's in different ways each week, those first couple games, but certainly games that they should have won. Should have won both of those football games.
Could have at least.
Right, getting in their own way. Yep. Against Buffalo, if you had won one of those first 2 and what happened on Monday against Buffalo happens, you're like, whatever. Every now and then it gets away from you.
Yeah.
Right? And
Houston's not reeling after they got killed by Minnesota. They're like, no, we're fine.
Right,
we'll
that kind of
back.
thing happens. But when it's the third of the loss is that kind of loss after having a couple of games where, look, you feel like we could have won, should have won, whatever. now it feels like, okay, they've dug a hole, and it's hard to see where the options are inside the building right now for them to dig themselves back out of it. I'm not saying that they don't exist.
No,
it's just hard to see what that path is for the football team at 0-3 and now a road game against Houston.
You just think about expectations, and this goes for a lot of players. You expect Cam Robinson to be playing better. You expect Trevor Lawrence to be playing better.
Yes.
You expect Josh Hines-Allen to be playing better, although he played really good against Cleveland. I got to give him that. This time it was just did some things against the run, but that was about it.
We talked about it a little bit yesterday on the program. I saw PFF had Josh Hines-Allen as their highest rated defender on Sunday or on Monday. I was like, that doesn't mean anything.
No.
Like, they were no good on Monday. He might have been the best of a bad group, in that football game, but he had no impact on the game.
No, he didn't. And they got carved up, they got off balance, they got beat, it's just I honestly don't, look, I think most teams, athletically speaking, big, strong, fast, they're all somewhat close. The difference is the grit, being prepared, knowing what's going on. Like, you watch Josh Allen run that offense, he's like, sit, stop.
Yeah.
Get set. Okay, now go. He's running the whole damn show. I mean, now granted, he's got a few years or a couple years on Trev on that, but that they were just prepared. You could tell that was a prepared team. We weren't prepared. Is it coaching? Part of that's coaching. Part of it's the player. And look, today with the CBA, you got to do more on your own than ever. You really do, because they can only do so much with you, right? Because of that collective bargaining agreement, how much they practice, how much time they're at the stadium, how much hitting, how much whatever it is. You got to do more on your own. I hope they are. It doesn't feel like they are.
All right, well, today we're going to try to figure out if they can do enough to get a win against the Houston Texans on a Keys to Victory Friday. We will solicit those from you if you want to be a part of the program today. That is our official Jaguars Today Chad and Sandy real estate question today. What are your 3 keys to victory for the Jags to defeat the Houston Texans this week? You can be a part of the program at 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Get in the YouTube virtual studio chat. You can hit us up on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at Meathead55, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
We'll hear from Press Taylor. Yes, we will hear from Press Taylor. And we'll also hear from Ryan Nielsen today as we'll see what is on their minds as the Jags try to climb out of an 0-3 hole. Maybe a little bit of desperation city with this game against the division-leading Houston Texans, and you'd fall a full 3 games behind, and a tiebreaker would be in the Texans' hands as well with a loss here, and your season, at least your playoff hopes, basically shot.
I'm sure you already have the stats I saw this morning. Only one team in the history of the NFL has made the playoffs after 0-4.
Yes, they didn't listen to the show yesterday, apparently.
Oh,
that's cool.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Was that question of the day?
No, but we may have discussed it.
I don't listen to it all the time, man.
It's obvious.
It's obvious. I can't listen to it all the time.
It's totally obvious. All right, there you go. All right,
that was interesting.
Tom McManus is here. Yeah, the Chargers in 92, and they went 11-1 after going 0-4. I don't think this team has 11-1 in them at any stretch. This team.
No,
not
they
this
haven't
year.
shown it. They haven't shown it.
All right, so get on board with a Keys to Victory Friday. Tom McManus is here. Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. I'm Mike Dempsey. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL, Jags coach Doug Peterson joins the Frangie Show.
That's the exciting part about it.
Coach Speaks, Fridays at 4:05.
Number one prized possession on the field is the football.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Hey, John, my dad, Randy Marion's gone absolute Cadillac crazy. You won't believe our Escalade lineup.
Well, how crazy we talking, Jennifer?
Buckle up, folks. We've got over 35 Cadillac Escalades.
35 Escalades? That's luxury overload.
I'm talking fully loaded models, cutting-edge tech, and that signature Cadillac style.
And the deals are even more luxurious. $4,000 Escalade loyalty rebate.
Plus 5% off MSRP on retired courtesy vehicles. Head to Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
Plus tax tag title $899 MNP and resistol.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank NA, member FDIC.
Hey, it's Joe C. My friends at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living can elevate your grilling experience with a durable, high-end grill from great brands like Coyote, DCS, Alfresco, and American Made, and make an outdoor kitchen custom-built to your taste and lifestyle. Visit their local showroom and see all the new displays at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
You dream it, we build it. CSS.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
When it comes to selling your home, it can be stressful. Take the stress out with my friends Chad and Sandy Newman. Maybe you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. How's this for a guarantee? Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they'll buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Mortgage rates are down, creating more active buyers and sellers. And if you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home. Take Kim in Palm Coast. I needed to move closer to family ASAP, but I had to sell my Palm Coast home first. I tried and failed with another agent. So my family said, you got to call Chad and Sandy. Well, sure enough, as promised, Chad and Sandy did it. They sold my home in 3 days, above asking price. Call the local Jacksonville experts I trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy today at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
Hunters Know Patience is part of the game.
Just got to keep hunting.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Waltz on the Nimnit Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Hey, there's a lab-grown diamond and jewelry sales event going on right now at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Monahan's is known for its natural diamonds and gemstones, but we've had so much demand for lab-grown diamonds that now through the end of September, Monahan Jewelers is having a lab-grown diamond and jewelry sales event. We've brought in a huge selection of lab-grown diamonds and jewelry to meet this incredible demand. Lab-grown diamond sales event now through the end of September at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hurricane season is here, and if you own or run a business, you must protect your valuable property from parking lot floods. Call Duck Rooter, your storm drain maintenance experts. Our VACCON team specializes in regular storm drain maintenance to keep your property safe and secure. With Duck Rooter, you can trust our professionals to keep your storm drains clear, preventing floods and ensuring the well-being of your customers and employees. Call us today at 904-862-6769 to schedule your storm drain maintenance. Visit duckrooter.com for more information.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Corona Premier. It's the light beer you didn't know was a light beer. Until right. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Now, Corona Premier, an unexpectedly light beer.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Back in the Middle, Tom McManus. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
Yeah, it always helps when you've played an opponent, especially twice in the past year, and has the same defensive coordinator, play caller. That certainly helps you on short weeks, but we know we have our hands full with a very good defense.
That's Press Taylor talking about, is there an advantage in preparation when you play a divisional opponent on a short week because you know them well? It's just a little bit easier to prepare, things like that. Of course, they've got the extra day, and the Jags came back so late as well.
Right.
Kind of like a day and a half behind.
Yeah.
As for the players, they're not going to be on the practice field till Wednesday anyway.
True.
But yesterday we found out Devin Lloyd unable to practice with a knee injury. So, just when it looks like, you're like, Joe Mixon hasn't practiced all week. Looks like he's going to miss.
Right.
Damian Pierce hasn't practiced all week. Looks like he could miss. So you're down to Cam Akers. Who's, what he is at this point.
Yeah.
But you're missing your two starting linebackers, your best two linebackers, at least on paper, potentially this week. So, on the other side, Nico Collins is banged up. As we mentioned with Mixon, I mean, this is as good a scenario coming off a game in which the pass rush really affected C.J. Stroud. They didn't do much offensively. I mean, this is a good scenario for the typical team to be facing the Houston Texans.
Like, it's pretty clear Tank Dell is not going to be able to go.
Another one
this week, right? Yep. And the addition of Nico Collins to the injury report yesterday with a hamstring injury limited in practice, that does feel like not everyone's at the entire practice, so that feels like he started practice, something happened with his hamstring, and he had to leave. Like, that's what that sounds like and feels like when you watch enough of these practice reports in the NFL. Whether or not he's able to go today at all is a real indicator of what his availability for Sunday could potentially be for this team, and that is a lot of pieces for them to be missing coming into this game against Jacksonville. I wish I felt better about Jacksonville going into the game, but they are. They're going to be playing, it looks like, without their top two linebackers, certainly in this game. And
top
then
corner, obviously.
Like all the other things that are just going on with them not getting lined up, in the first 3 weeks. Like, none of those things have been fixed, and they're a month into the season. Yes, this looks like it should be a very good opportunity for the Jags to beat the Texans on Sunday. I wish I felt better about it, but the team hasn't given me a reason to feel much better about it than I do going into this contest.
Well, I don't think they hit Josh Allen once last week.
They got one official hit. Mason Smith got it.
One hit.
Officially.
Okay.
Touched
out
him
of 12 or something like that. Pressures I read, like one hit out of 0 hits.
Out of however many dropbacks he took.
Right.
So
if you do that again, he'll carve you up.
If your left tackle gives up 8 pressures again,
like that, that's like crazy. Like, think about it. You're going into the season 3 weeks ago. You're not thinking that Cam Robinson's going to be struggling.
Or Anton Harrison.
Or Anton, right. We're thinking like maybe
that's
the
strength
guards
of your offensive line if you have one.
Right. And then they're not. They're not. You're sitting there like, what the heck are you guys doing? Like, why?
I saw PFF has Ezra Cleveland as the 8th highest rated guard in pass blocking this year.
Great.
And that may be true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't grade guards, you know what I mean? Around the league.
I do play-by-play. I watch it. The 3 interior guys, they haven't made mistakes in a few games. Maybe one early in against Miami.
Right.
But
everyone's going to
overall, nothing major. Not like our tackles. They begin beef.
If we had told you that the 2 guards in the center are going to play pretty solid football, you would have taken that and run with it and said, then maybe we're going to be okay.
Right.
If you had been told that before the season started, you think they're 2-1.
Yeah.
That's what you would think at this point, and instead they're 0-3 for a bunch of different reasons.
And they still could be 2-1.
Yeah.
Right? But there's no getting them back. We're not going to forget at the end of the year because unless they steal 2 that you felt like, oh man, there's no way they should have won that game. And that does happen.
That happens. Yeah, sure.
All right, so we'll get to more from Press Taylor coming up. Of course, Tom McManus, Tony Smith, Mike Dempsey, and America's narrator Dylan Denmark.
Yes, sir.
Here with you. Are you any thoughts to opening up a Cameo service? So if people wanted you to kind of narrate their whatever, happy birthday wishes from Dylan Denmark, any thought to that?
Not yet. I'll get there eventually, though.
I think the demand is going to be increasing. They're already sliding into my DMs. How do I get hold of this rich, luscious voice?
There you go.
Get more of that in my life. Speaking of rich, luscious voices, I hear the lead singer of the Dad Bod is going to be in action this weekend.
We are tomorrow night down in Neptune Beach at the local. out on their patio. It's going to be great. 7 o'clock, 7 to 10.
Okay.
I guess they shut us down at 10, so we'll be good boys and take it to about 10:30.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
It takes 30 minutes for
we'll
the
see
cops
what
to get
happens.
there.
We'll see. Well, no, it takes them 30 minutes to come back the second time, right? So
Right.
Come back
They
once,
warn you.
and
They go away. All right. Encore. There we go.
No, it should be a good night.
The Local is what it's called,
The
though?
Local,
in
yeah.
Neptune Beach.
Yeah, Neptune
All right.
Beach, yeah.
Check that out
be fun.
this weekend if you are so inclined. All right, it's Keys to Victory Friday, right?
Okay, yeah, good.
Hey, Press Taylor, what is the key to getting the offense on track?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to making plays to establish some consistency. I mean, that's been the biggest thing. We've had opportunities there we haven't made at certain times, and then it just kind of feels on top of you a little bit. And starting fast is a big thing for us. We were able to score, I think, the second drive of the game, but going 3 and out to start, we got to be able to be there for our defense when our defense needs us in a situation like it was the other night. But we got to produce earlier in games so they're not getting behind the game situation as it goes.
I feel like, and by the way, I don't necessarily think it's incorrect, right? But if this is your point of view, I feel like when I hear we need to make plays, he's saying there are plays to be made that are not being made, right? That's the way I interpret it. Like, hey, if you look at it, got some guys open, we're not getting to it in our progression. Maybe the line protection is not holding up. Or they're dropping it. Or Trevor's leaving the pocket too early, or whatever. Any combination of these things. And that may be accurate. It's funny, Tone, because a lot of fans at times, they want a coach to get up there and chew somebody's butt, right? But if it's a coach that they're predisposed to not love to begin with, right? Then they hear that and they're like, why are you blaming the players? Why aren't you taking responsibility yourself? When, at times we want them to point out, hey, like, if this is brutally honest and this is what's happening and this is what you're seeing on film, that these guys are just not executing time and time again, I don't know what you want them to say, but I do feel like it's safe in all those circumstances to lead with, first of all, we got to do a better job coaching these guys, right? And then kind of move on to, and when we do put them in positions, they've got to capitalize on it, and it just feels more that like, hey, we're all a part of this. And I think that's probably closer to the truth.
Yeah, and I think, Tommy, you would know this better than I would, certainly. But I think the players know what the personality of their coaches are as coaches, right? Like they have a real clear picture of this is who this guy is. This is how he handles these different situations. Now, when that gets turned, right, if you have a guy that is very even-keeled and something happens in a game and he goes off, right, on so like that does feel like that's something that could get everyone's attention. I think you can do that once to get everyone's attention, but when you go to it that second time, they're like, is he in control of anything anymore?
Yeah.
Like, I think you open the door for that kind of thing. Press strikes me as a very even-tempered guy, so I think if he wants to rip him one time and that wakes him up and gets him back in shape, I think that would work. I think it would be unfair to expect him to be the guy who's going to be that fiery guy on the sideline all the time. It's not his personality.
As long as it's genuine, players will respond.
Yeah.
If they feel like it's an over-the-top act, like you're just doing it to, to try to be tough guy
or it's
cool
all
or
frustration.
whatever.
He has no answers for us anymore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But
they'll
listen,
see through that quick.
There is a balance, or there's a fine line of play calling and executing those calls that are played. Like that first drive, that first throw to ETN was really weird. Everybody went out. I think 5 went out. He dumped it to him quick. It didn't even feel like he looked down the field, like looked at anybody. He just kind of got rid of it. He wasn't pressured. It was it was like a yard gain. It was kind of a really weird thing. And then they tried another pass. And now, granted, the DB made a good play, but some call was that a drop that Brian Thomas Jr. had? That first throw was an out. The second play of the game, it was an out route. DB was right on him. He might have had a hand on it, so possibly there. And then the third play, Cam gets beat inside and hits him low, and the ball goes over Gabe's head. Like, would I have started with 3 pass plays? Maybe not, but that's hindsight being 2020. You know what I mean? Like, other than that, what are you to do as a coach? Like, what are you to do?
Right.
Like,
I mean, we do say, hey,
why does my tackle get beat inside? Like, come on, dude, you're 9-year vet or whatever you are.
Kind of shoves the guy into Trevor's
we can't count on
lower
you.
leg.
First, third down?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? So I don't know. There is a balance of it too. But I'm with you. As long as it's genuine. Look, I don't know. To me, you should, all your veterans especially, and most of the locker room, they should be critiquing themselves harder than any coach. That's the kind of guy you want in the locker room. He knows when he screws up. He feels terrible that he screwed up, and he's going to do everything he can that it never happens again. Those are the kind of people you want. Do they have them? I'm sure they have some of them. I'm sure they do, but I don't know how many.
We've been asking about changes in different spots on the team all week, given what's gone on in the first 3 weeks, especially on Monday night against Buffalo. Press Taylor yesterday, when he was asked about that kind of thing, said we're evaluating everything right now.
We'll look at anything and everything. So we're always tweaking certain things that we think are going to benefit us. We're not just going to change, but we're going to certainly look at everything we do. Are we good at this? Are we not good at this? Why are we not good at this? What's going to give us an advantage against this defense and put our best players in position to make plays? So we're always evaluating that,
So, Tom, look, there are only so many personnel changes you can make on offense, right? Would you swap out Cam Robinson for Walker Little, who struggled when he came in last week? But, again, on the theory that one guy's made his money, the other guy may be, a little bit hungry and desperate to show, what he can do here to earn a second contract.
Yeah. I'm just shocked Cam's not having a good year. I'm not ready to make that move. I don't have a lot of faith in Walker either for a consistent basis, if he took over kind of deal. Here's another thing, look, and in Walker's defense, I will say this, he comes off cold. You make him one-on-one with Von Miller. Mm-hmm. I mean, can you put somebody over there? I don't know. Just a thought. He just came off the sideline. And look, you're a backup. You're supposed to perform. I know that. I've been in that situation. You've got to perform. But my head might tell me, you know what? He may need a little help. He's fresh off the bench. He's got Von Miller. Well, I don't know. One of the greatest pass rushers of all time. Big part of the game, at least, in that moment. But I don't know. I think they got to help these guys out. I think they got to call plays that helps them out, and they got to get in a rhythm too. I'm not ready to make total changes yet. Now, if it continues, then you're going to have to figure something out. You cannot have your left tackle playing like Cam played last week. No way. You just can't have it.
All right, well, everyone this week has taken turns answering the question, is Trevor Lawrence trying to do too much? We'll hear what Press Taylor has to say about that when we return, and we'll also hear from Jaguars defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen. The honeymoon's over when you give up 5 straight touchdowns in the first half of a football game and the most points ever allowed in the first half in Jacksonville Jaguars history. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Tom McManus, Dylan Denmark here with you. If you want to get in, you know the ways to do it on a Keys to Victory Friday on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Great to see Hacker closing in on the century mark. That's right, 100 pounds. He's almost down. Me, I only needed to lose about 25, 26 pounds through Awaken 180, and I was able to do it quickly, efficiently, safely, and maintain that weight loss now for a full year. It's almost the end of September, and that's when I hit my goal weight last year. Since then, it's free support and coaching because that's how it is for life. Once you're an Awaken 180 client, if you hit your goal weight, maybe it's 10 pounds, maybe it's 50, maybe it's 100 or more, you hit that weight, and they're going to give you free coaching and support to make sure you can help maintain that kind of healthy lifestyle going forward. Eat to lose weight. It's a great thing. It's not starvation. It's not some crazy, unrealistic exercise regime. It's not medications and injections. You eat to lose weight. You learn when to eat, what to eat, how often, and in what quantities, and you're going to turn your body into a fat-burning machine. Call Awaken 180 if you want to lose the pounds and keep them off at 844-346-1800 or schedule a free consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Who has the best lineup this season? Honda. Cars, trucks, SUVs, vans, hybrids, and electric. This is one of the greatest lineups Honda has ever had. And now is the best time to purchase or lease one. Visit your local Honda dealer now. Remember, only a Honda is a Honda.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the 4th annual Constellation Furyk & Friends, presented by Circle K, October 4th through 6th at Timuquana Country Club. Get your tickets now starting at just $25 for grounds passes. Public parking is free, and our military get complimentary tournament access courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Get your tickets today at Ticketmaster, October 4th through 6th at Timuquana Country Club. The 4th annual Constellation Furyk & Friends, presented by Circle K.
This is Keith Scott with Veterans Wholesale Cabinets. We are Northeast Florida's cabinet experts and your best option to elevate your home improvement project for both homeowners and contractors, and attention to detail to every project. VeteransWholesaleCabinets.com.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
You know when you said come over for the fight? We thought you meant your house.
You guys want another round of Bud Lights?
Service is better here. And so is the beer.
Bud Light is back as the official beer sponsor of UFC. Enjoy responsibly. 2024 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Thermal Engineers is hiring. Thermal Engineers is a commercial HVAC contractor serving North Florida for over 20 years. Qualified technicians and installers. How does top pay, 401k, and full benefits sound? And a signing bonus. Is it time for a positive change in your career? Join the family-oriented commercial HVAC contractor at Thermal Engineers. Call 230-1172 or go to Thermal Engineers, Inc., an equal opportunity employer.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser share the huddle with Freddie T. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Fred Taylor, he's a candidate to go the distance.
On 1010XL.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Most tax pros leave a message.
It's Jane. I'm moving on to a TurboTax expert who beat your price. Adam Devine, tell him how I feel.
A tax pro, she's been thinking twice. Best believe TurboTax will beat your price. This is a tax break.
Switch to a TurboTax Live expert and we'll beat what you paid your pro last tax season. Make the switch at TurboTax.com/beatyourprice. TurboTax full service only. Sign up by 12/20/2024 and file by 4/1/2025. Full details at TurboTax.com/beatyourprice.
Homeowners, listen up. The Fed has taken action, lowering rates for the first time in years, and Loan Pronto has followed suit by lowering mortgage rates big time. Prosser here. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.59% APR, the lowest in 2 years. Whether you got your loan last month or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto and dump that high-rate loan. You can lock in a lower rate fast with virtually no paperwork and usually no appraisal. There's no limit on how many times you can refi, so get started. Even if you're in process with another lender, give Loan Pronto a call. If you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Purchase loans available as well, so call now. Get your rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, MLSconsumeraccess.org.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Coming up this afternoon at the stadium, the Jaguars are holding a special media event with Tom Coughlin, Tony Baselli, and Fred Taylor. The Jaguars legends will meet the media today, ahead of Tom Coughlin going into the Pride of the Jaguars next Sunday. Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson was asked this week about what he remembers from Tom Coughlin's teams.
I was on teams that played, when Coach Coughlin was here, and then of course when he was in New York, they're going to be physical football teams. It was one of those games where, as you say, you had to wear your big boy pants.
Coughlin will be inducted into the Pride of the Jaguars next Sunday. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Tom McManus. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
All right, Tommy Mack in studio. Quick programming note, non-radio programming note. If you want a series to watch, okay, I'm always looking for something, right? And I've seen this whole series from start to finish before, but Homicide: Life on the Street is freaking amazing.
Really?
It was like the precursor to The Wire. It really, it was like it kind of, The Wire spun out of that a little bit.
All right.
Awesome. It's on Peacock. Everything free on Peacock.
I need to check that out.
Oh, it's so good. man.
My wife got me watching, I don't even want to admit to it. I walked away after like 2 episodes. I'm like, I can't do it, babe. I'm sorry.
What do you got?
It was a love story. It's with the guy from the OC who's a rabbi and the girl who's married, Kristen Bell, and she's.
I love Kristen Bell.
Yeah, she's cute, but I mean, it's just kind of, I don't know. They fall in love, but she's a. What they call her, a shishka, which is a non-Jewish woman.
Non-Jewish woman, right?
That's trying to date a
Jewish
guy.
Yeah.
Right. So they go.
Elaine was a shishka in Seinfeld.
Oh, really? Oh, well, that's right. I remember
point,
that.
Yes.
So anyway, I walked away after 2 episodes. I mean, I'm sure it's a great
you made
love
it for
story.
2, though.
I did. I gave it a shot.
That's nice.
Yeah. Gotta give it a little time.
You ever watch A Good Place? With the guy who was the big Jaguar fan on that show, that Kristen Bell, the one where they're kind of like in purgatory.
Oh, no.
Caught between heaven and hell.
No, really?
Kind of thing. Yeah, The Good Place.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I forget what the character's name was. It was like he'd be repping Bortles all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
he threw a Molotov cocktail onto a boat at one point and yelled Bortles.
Bortles! Right, like he was full doo-wah, man.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. All right, let's get this one more in from Press Taylor, because I know there's a tolerance limit for Press Taylor from some out there, and so be it. The question is, Trevor Lawrence, for whatever combination of reasons, the contract, the losing streak, of 8 games now, just the attention that comes with being a franchise quarterback, is he trying to do too much?
I think when you say something like that, you're referring to holding the ball and trying to look for a bigger play that I'm not sure if that's necessarily what's gone on. I think it's just doing the right thing consistently, whether it's, first play of the game, first third down of the game, first opportunity in the red zone, what we're looking for, what we're trying to take advantage of, what's our drop look like, what's the cadence we're using on certain things, just all those things. And then everybody around him has to play well as well. We have to be able to count on, if you're supposed to be at 6 yards, you're at 6 yards. You're not at 4 yards. You're not at 8 yards. If you're supposed to have this particular launch point on a certain play, so the line knows where you're at, the back knows where you're at, you got to be there. It's just all those little things over and over.
Tone, I don't get the sense that Trevor Lawrence is trying to I got to throw this into triple coverage against this guy. I got to force it, because we're not seeing a ton of that. We're seeing some balls into double coverage, but everybody throws a few of those, right?
Yeah.
That's the National Football. You have to throw some of those passes. But my question is he pressing and making just some of the easy stuff more difficult? I don't know. Did he just sail the ball over Brian Thomas Jr.'s head, or is he thinking, I got to hit this one because we don't get many opportunities like that? We're, instead of being free and easy and just see it, throw it, complete it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's why we ask the kind of questions that we see Press Taylor get asked. How do they make anything look free and easy on any part of the field for any of these guys again? Right? Because it does feel like whether the throw that wound up getting intercepted on the pass to Brian Thomas Jr. was a result of any of these things that we imagine in our head it could have been, right? As opposed to just being a bad play in a bad moment. It does ramp up whatever pressure you feel like everybody's on. It goes up to another level when you have that kind of play. It does feel like someone's got to figure out how to relieve some of that somewhere on the football team right now, Tommy. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like on Sunday against Houston. What kind of play needs to be made to make that kind of thing happen, but something needs to happen, I think, especially early for this football team, so that everyone can just go, we're not that team.
Well, you expect your star players to be the ones to do it.
Sure.
I mean, they're the ones that got to make these plays, I don't know. Look, I thought the interception was one of his worst plays. He's got a pocket. He's got time. I feel like
clear lane.
I know.
Throw through.
I know. And he stepped into it. He may have overstepped. I don't know. I'm not a quarterback, guy like that. But if he hits him in stride, he's got a sideline. Maybe not all the way, but it's going to be tough to catch that kid. You got to make the throw. I mean, you just got to make the throw, especially if every
it doesn't
quarterback
seem like a high degree of difficulty play either.
I mean, I don't want you don't compare, but you got to compare. Look, they ran crossing routes Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
Where did Josh Allen put them?
In the hands,
right in front, the hands, in front, and off to the races they go. And he's just playing catch. It's pitch and catch. Now, is it in his head? Maybe. Has he lost Listen, go back to that very first play where he dumps it off to ETN. He dumped it off really quick. It was kind of weird that he almost – I didn't feel like there was pressure there. I don't know. Maybe I don't remember there being pressure. And it's a 5-man route, and right away dumps it. Like, it was like he didn't even give a chance, or maybe he just felt everyone was covered. Or I don't know. Or opening
there are
drive
times
jitters.
We sit there and we go, take what's there, right? Take the layup. Take the easy one, right?
It just felt quick. No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
So there's some balance.
I know exactly what you're saying. Right.
Like take the sure six.
Don't take the bomb. Take the guy that's open.
Right. And advance the ball down the field. And sometimes you got to hang on to it and try to make the big play.
Yeah. I don't feel like he's pressing too much. I don't. I think he's off his game a little bit. He is. Now he'll make some great throws, so we got to keep that in mind. I mean, he does make some phenomenal throws most of the time in between the numbers, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. He's really good in between the numbers. I think when we get outside the numbers, he's 50-50, iffy on where that ball needs to be placed. Now, is he? He's not going to say it, but has he lost confidence in his O-line already? I mean, first drive, gets hit in the leg.
We sit there and we talk about Josh Allen putting the right out where it needs to be. He's sitting back there like
with
it's a day in the park.
I know it.
So play where Trevor's bailing on the pocket out to the left with nothing in his face. Like, that is one of those where you're like, man, what? Like, they blocked it up for you. Like, and it does feel like that's happening a couple times a game where it's there. You know, you ask the question, is the pressure getting to him, right? Does he trust his O-line? Right now, we can see it in the games. There are moments when he could have trusted the O-line. They did the job, and he bailed on it early, right, to try to make something else happen. That is, I mean, it's frustrating to watch it when it happens, and it's happening 2-3 times a game right now.
No, I know what you're saying, because you do want him to, look, if there's nothing there, man, make a play. Go make a
100%.
play, right? Maybe you dump it off. Maybe you take off and run, but do something and not get sacked or fall, that kind of thing. Do something positive. You hope that can happen. Look, he throws a nice ball to Kirk in the end zone, hits him right in the damn face.
Yep.
First in your hands, and then come on, you got to catch that ball. So it's not just the QB,
right?
But he's the guy. And I think Lewis Oliver said it best. Nobody likes hearing this, but look, man, when you're the guy and they give you that bag, you got to carry this team. You got to make these throws. These are throws. These aren't special throws. Some of them, they're just routine throws. You got to make these throws. A lot goes into saying that, so don't get all, upset at me for saying that, because I know a lot goes into it.
Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson saying this morning that Evan Ingram is doubtful to play due to the hamstring injury, could return next week. From Kai Stevens, let's see, Devin Lloyd did not practice. We know that. Peterson described it as soreness and said he should be good to go for Sunday. So
all right, good.
That's good. Data. Hopefully get that calmed down because, again, he may have struggled, but he's still a starter.
No, I know. He didn't have a good outing Sunday or Monday night. He made a couple things, but he did not have a good outing. I'll tell you one thing he's really good at is blitzing up the A-gap. Now, one time he took his sweet old time getting going. You got to hit that thing. You know what I mean? You got to be full speed hitting that thing. And I like him up on the line of scrimmage rushing the passer, too. I think he can do some things there, but – he's got to be better. I would question, and I like Devin. I've met Devin. This is not a personal shot on, but I would question if he is totally in his book game plan, knows every single call, everything to do on every single play. I would question that about him. I don't question that about Aluakin at all. I think he knows exactly what's going on pretty much every single play, knows his responsibility, executes it. I don't know if and he's not the only one, but he's one of them I would question if he's totally into his book.
All right, one more from Mia O'Brien. Doug Peterson said, we'll see about Darnell Savage's availability, which sounds to me like don't hold your breath. I mean, we'll see. And he was supposed to be trending towards playing this week.
You can tell a difference when he's not in there, at least.
Yeah, and they're going to put a lot of pressure on your secondary, particularly if Nico Collins can play.
No, right.
Dalton Schultz is healthy. Yep. Obviously, you got Diggs out there. So just a few injury updates coming in this morning. Why don't we take a moment and see what's happening around the rest of the National Football League?
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Houston wide receiver Nico Collins appeared on the Texans injury report with a hamstring injury yesterday. Texans running backs Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce, wide receiver Tank Dell, all missed practice for the Texans. Detroit tight end Sam Laporta did not practice on Thursday with an ankle injury. Las Vegas wide receiver Devontae Adams limited on Thursday with a hamstring injury. LA Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert limited again in practice yesterday. Philadelphia wide receivers A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith both missed practice. Pittsburgh running back Jaylen Warren didn't practice on Thursday. San Francisco wide receiver Deebo Samuel and tight end George Kittle both limited in practice yesterday for the 49ers. Atlanta running back Bijan Robinson was limited with a shoulder injury. Carolina wide receiver Deontay Johnson missed practice with a groin injury, but he did say that he expects to play on Sunday. We'll see about that. Arizona wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. limited for a second straight day with a quadriceps injury. Cardinals tight end Trey McBride still has not cleared the concussion protocol there in Arizona. Chicago wide receivers Keenan Allen and Roma Dunze both limited in practice on Thursday. And Cleveland tight end David Njoku and defensive end Myles Garrett both got in a limited practice yesterday for the Browns.
All right, we'll get to some thoughts from Ryan Nielsen as we get into hour two. Somebody passed this along from the 33rd team, which is a outfit that has some former Pro Football Focus guys, analytics, analytics
yeah,
stuff.
sure.
So don't take it as gospel. I didn't grade these,
right.
But this is offensive tackles with the highest pressure rates allowed through 3 weeks. Okay,
highest pressure,
most
giving
pressure,
up the most pressures,
playing the worst.
Gotcha.
Right. Number 3 on the list, Cam Robinson, 11.6% of offense or dropbacks he's given up pressures on. The high in the league is 13.1 and 13. Those are first and second place, or last and second to last, if you want to look at it like that. So he's got the third worst rate. Anton Harrison is still in the top 10, allowing 9.6. Basically, 1 out of every 10 he's allowing a pressure. And you figure you throw it 30, 40 times in some games. 3 or 4 pressures you're giving up, which can, how many of those pressures turn into sacks
hits,
or quarterback hits or just disrupt the play. So you've got that's what's happening for you on the outside of your offensive line right now.
So you either make changes or you help those guys out. You got to figure that out. You know what I mean?
By the way, I'm looking at this offensive tackles with the lowest pressure rates heading into week 4. Laramie Tunsil, number 1.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good player.
1.6%.
I like Farrell next to either tackle. I think he can handle some defensive ends. He's a big, strong guy, good blocker overall. He can help. You're going to have to do these things. That's what you do. If your tackles are struggling, you just don't leave them out on an island because you're just hurting your team. Now, you can get the ball out quicker, maybe not call so many down the field throws, that kind of thing. But for the most part, you got to figure that out. You either got to max protect, throw a back over there, throw a tight end over there. Whatever, but you got to figure it out because you keep leaving them on an island and they keep getting beat, you're going to get your quarterback killed.
By the way, from the same group, the 33rd team, the offensive tackles with the lowest pressure rates allowed, number 4, Jawan Taylor, 2.9%. Now, I would assume Mahomes helps with that, right? Because he's doing a lot of pre-snap diagnosis and all that. But if you look at the names of the guys in this top 10, including Tunsil, Penei Sewell, Ronnie Stanley, Tristan Wirfs, Jordan Mailata. A lot of these guys are believed to be the best of the best, and it's backed up by their presence in these statistics. So,
I'm just shy. I don't know. Maybe can't. Maybe this is the week.
Maybe it is.
Who knows?
But that's kind of like
I know.
Like hey, maybe this is the week we all play well.
Right. But okay, so let's just say they. Okay, Cam, you sit down and walk, or you be. You're guessing there too. You don't know how that's going to be.
Do you never get to the point where you go, "This is so bad, we got to give this other guy an opportunity"? Even if it's for a week.
Eventually get to that. I'm not at that point, but let me put it to you this way: he gives up, 8 pressures in this game. You might want to heavily consider.
So 1 more week is your breaking point.
Well, 8 with 8 pressures. If he only gives up a couple, no,
I got you.
It depends. It depends how they play. But, man, that's really disappointing.
All right, we'll come back with some thoughts from Ryan Nielsen. We've got our confidence picks heading into week number 4 coming up next hour. Keys to Victory Friday, so we got a Keys to Victory roundtable coming. David Garrard stole your glory on that one earlier because we did Keys to Victory Monday this past week.
Oh, right.
With the schedule. But anyway, all that coming up and more as we get into hour number 2 of Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. It's the ultimate tailgate. Someone's going to win a tailgate combo pack from Southern Steer Butcher.
Valued at $100.
And it could be you.
Monthly winners get a Corona tailgate tent with a cooler, chair, and
collectible football.
Enter at 1010XL.com.
Are you ready to upgrade your home? Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renewal by Andersen. Energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires September 30th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit rbafla.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
It's a scary time of year.
Especially for North Florida jewelry stores. It's a buy one, get one free on wedding bands. Happening now through Halloween.
At the St. John's Town Center or at BeardsDiamonds.com.
Right now, they're on their way to ruin your day. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. And if you're not prepared, you will suffer. Yes, it's that time of the year. Heat and humidity are attacking North Florida. But help is at hand. Call Mike Merritt's Heating and Air Conditioning. Mike Merritt has a license to chill and lets you maintain your comfort zone at a bargain price. How? Mike Merritt stands ready to help, routine or emergencies. And Mike Merritt knows emergencies can happen at any time. So with Mike, there's never any overtime charges. And Mike's team works without commissions. Merritt will never try to sell you parts you don't need. You can't trust just anyone with a truck. Call Mike Merritt, the company North Florida has trusted for 35 years. Call today. License number CAC 050384.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and it is hot out there. You know that, Greg. But Honda has a plan for you on or off the road.
They do. There's a ton of Honda scooters, Honda mini motos, great for the beach. Also get you out in the woods with a Honda side-by-side. Plenty to do and stay cool.
Yeah, four-wheelers, and you can trick them out.
We can. From stereo systems to big builds, we do it all.
Everything's there for you to see. CyclesOfJacksonville.com online or on Atlantic near Regency. Check out Cycles of Jacksonville.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about putting your worries in the right bucket. So often we put our worries in our own bucket, but many times they need to be in God's bucket. The Bible says, present your problems always to God. In other words, leave them in God's bucket. Understand that no matter what is out of your control, it's never out of the control of Almighty God.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality product and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
They're out to test our reputation as the best plumber in Jacks, so we gotta play like the experts we are. Now, who are we?
Roll Breeze Plumbing!
Now, that's what a winner
sure sounds like. Customers always win with Roland Reach Plumbing at plumberinjacks.com.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Riddle Wellness. Tomorrow night in Tuscaloosa is the college football game of the year between number 2 Georgia and number 4 Alabama. Bulldogs head coach Kirby Smart on the difficult matchup against Crimson Tide quarterback Jalen Milroe.
He is as different a football player in college football as I've played against in a long time, because people think he's just a runner, and that's not the case. He has a tremendous arm and can do things with his arm that other people can't. He can reach spots on the field faster than you can break on it. So it's a tremendous challenge.
Georgia at Alabama. It's 82 degrees at 11 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Tom McManus.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
Yeah, it's a big challenge. Man, he's done a really good job this year. He's made a ton of plays flying around, getting his hands on footballs and disrupting and everything. So a really good player. Wish we had him. We don't. Next man up mentality. Next guys will go in there and they'll do a good job. Look forward to getting him back as soon as we can.
And Ventrell Miller will be that next man up, apparently, in the starting lineup. Any surprise that it's Miller and not Chad Muma?
No. I like Miller. I think he's going to be good in especially covering. I think he'll cover a little bit better than we've seen. Not out of Aluakin, but we'll see what happens with Lloyd. But no, and Chad's fine. Chad makes some plays in the run game. I'll tell you what. This is why I want Miller. I think offenses are going to target Lloyd and Muma, get them one-on-one with the back, and see if they can make something happen. I think they're going to take tape and see that. Chad wasn't far off in his coverage, and look, he covered way better than me, so I'm not one to talk, but I think they can be, both Lloyd and him can be exploited. I think Miller and Aluakin, I think, can handle pretty much anything. He can cover pretty much anybody. I think Miller's got that speed and that coverability that might be an upgrade.
Do we see, Tony, a crucial play made by Dare Ogunbowale, former Jaguar? I mean, seriously, right? I mean, right now he's their third down back.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Cam Akers wasn't involved in the passing game last week. Cam Akers is just an average guy.
Yep.
At least he's proven to be in the NFL to this point.
And apparently an okay emergency kicker, as we learned. Was that last year or 2 years ago?
Is that? I don't even recall that.
Yeah, he was the emergency kicker for the Texans one of those years.
Wow.
Yeah, he made an extra point, I think, in a game. Something like that.
Okay. He the Florida State grad?
Yeah.
Yeah, went to L.A. or the Rams?
Yes.
Right, but tore his Achilles?
I believe it was the Achilles.
Was it Achilles? Okay.
I think
he was pretty good before the Achilles tear, wasn't he? Didn't he do some stuff with them? No, not really.
Not really.
Okay.
It never really got rolling there, So, I think there was a stretch when he came back, maybe like the first time he got injured, he came back, and it was maybe like in the postseason, and he had a few good games.
Yep.
And which is great. I mean, that's when you want to do it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
never consistently been, I don't believe, that guy that, 1,200 yard, 1,000-yard guy.
Yeah, sure.
Thing. What are you laughing at over there?
Nothing. I was laughing at y'all, yeah.
Oh, laughing at that's fine.
Talking to me?
It's just a normal day. All right, let's get into a couple of thoughts here from Ryan Nielsen. One, just looking back, there's been a lot of talk about this. You run what you run and say you got to beat us at what we do best or what we feel we do best, or do you say, my opponent does this and excels against what we do best, so we got to switch it up here. Talking about running man defense, obviously. The Bills, picked it apart.
Yep.
Now, keep in mind that I think going into that game, the Jags were running the most man in the league, and it was like 49%. Right? So you're still running at least half the time you're in zone.
Yep.
But does he regret playing as much man as they did last week against Buffalo?
Yeah, there's some of the things, the pre-snap stuff, the align and adjust, getting our eyes right, particularly earlier in the game that we felt we could have done a little bit better job on. Obviously, we needed to. And then we left some plays out there. Ultimately, it falls on my shoulders. It's my fault. I could plan better, got the guys ready to go a little bit better. So, it all falls on me. Take full responsibility for what happened. And all we can do is we can learn from it, improve, get better, not let it happen again. So that's what our focus has been this week.
That's how you answer the question, because you take full responsibility, but he also pointed out, we got to make some plays. We got to see things the right way. I felt like he was saying if they had executed in certain instances, it would have been a lot better, but ultimately that falls on me.
What popped up in my mind when you're saying that, so I know there was a play, they're in man, Antonio Johnson's got outside leverage, and he gets beat outside. There's outside leverage, and he gets beat to the outside. And even Louis Oliver's like, come on, young man, whoever we want, what are you doing? Your help's inside. What you got outside leverage? You're not, and you're near the end. You're the end guy towards the line of scrimmage. So maybe some of that. Here's the thing. If you play zone, you got to be able to rush the passer.
Right.
They're going to pick you apart even worse. So what do? Where's Josh Hines Allen? Consistently. Where's Trayvon? Where's Eric Armstead? He's supposed to be this dominating. I haven't seen.
He had a big play
nice
in
sack.
week 1.
He had a great sack against the guard. Let's see more of that against the guard. Maybe there's a key there. But my front four,
line up inside whether you like it or not.
That's how I feel.
I'm sorry. I don't think many people disagree with you.
I don't know why they would even say, "Oh no, okay, Eric, you can." No. What are you talking about? You're going to play where we need you to play. I mean, Josh Allen was excited for you to be on the team, not to spell him when he needs a breather, to be that guy next to him.
Creating opportunities.
To create opportunities. Yeah. So that's got to, I don't know. I tell you, it is hard, especially if you don't affect the quarterback. Zone is hard, especially if you don't affect the quarterback. Now, if you affect the quarterback, different story. Zone blitz. Throwing a fifth guy, whatever, and you're in zone, great. But if you think you just play zone and that QB has all day long to throw, they're going to pick you apart all day, just like they did on Monday night.
We have talked about on the show already. Houston looks like a team that could be without 2 of their top 3 receivers on Sunday. Yeah. We'll see what they say about Nico Collins today. Top 2 running backs not going to be able to go this week, it appears, for the Texans as well. Ryan Nielsen was asked yesterday about how he feels like his defense matches up against Houston on Sunday.
Yeah, we feel we have a good matchup. We're going to play fundamentals and technique. We're going to do what we do. We always have a wrinkle or two, for the opponent. But it's all about going out there, playing confident in our fundamentals and technique, playing within the scheme, and just executing our job. I mean, that's what this game is. We got to execute at a high level. That's National Football League, week in and week out. So that's been our focus.
Look, if you can get after C.J. Stroud, you can impact this Houston offense.
Look
can
what
you
Minnesota
do it?
Did, right.
I mean, he's been sacked 1 fewer times than Trevor Lawrence has been this year.
Right.
But can the Jags take advantage of that matchup, which is a little odd because Tunsil's numbers are what they are. Right. But, nevertheless, it's coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
And,
maybe over the guards.
Maybe it is. And look, I mean, last week, clearly the pressure affected him.
Without a doubt. He was definitely affected. He was a little rattled even.
Believe I saw yesterday, this is the longest stretch, I think D-Rock wrote, this is the longest stretch into a season where the Jags have yet to create a turnover going into week 4, right? Wow. In the past, it's been week 3. So week 4 is the latest, if it happens even this week. And Ryan Nielsen was asked about that. Why have they not been able to create turnovers?
Last game, balls in our hands a couple of times, balls on the ground, once early in the game that could have, got the ball for the offense in a better field position. And it's not of a lack of trying. Like, the guys are very focused, ball awareness, things like that. They're punching the ball out. Trayvon had a big time punch out opportunity. He went for it the other day. It's the continuation of what you get concerned is if you're not seeing that, John, on the tape. And so we talk ball disruption. It's a huge part of what we do on defense. And Foye has been really good at tipping balls, getting balls in his hand, things like that. And sometimes it just takes one, and one leads to 2. And so that's our whole thing. Let's just get one, fellas. And we're working on it. It's been a constant effort and practice, things that were fundamentals, technique. It's a huge thing that we're working to get done. It'll happen. It's just, when it happens, I don't want the guys to press too hard, and get, too worried about it. Just continue to play within our scheme, play within our fundamentals and technique, and good things will happen.
I don't know what being worried about getting turnovers would even look like. Really, you're out there, do the job, make the play that's there in front of you to be made. Eventually, it's gonna fall your way. That's how I've always felt about turnovers. Sometimes you make a play that's above the X's and O's, like the fumble that got forced at the goal line, right? Those kind of things happen every now and then, but generally turnovers happen because the other guy messed up. That's generally how they occur. Jacksonville hasn't taken advantage of the other guy messing up here early in the season. They got to start getting better in those situations.
You got to affect the QB.
Right.
That's how you get him to mess up.
No doubt. No doubt. One more here from Ryan Nielsen, who was asked if he's been disappointed. We talked about the interior of the offensive line, maybe the issue for Houston just a moment ago. Well, the interior of the Jaguars defensive line certainly hasn't given them much to this point this season, but the outside guys really haven't done enough either. And Nielsen was asked if he's been disappointed with the Jaguars pass rush to this point in the year.
No, here's the thing. Not always concerned about sacks. It's affecting the quarterback. That's the most important thing in the league is the effects, the hits, the harass, the hands up, things like that. Obviously, we all want to have 25 sacks right now, and that's it is an important thing. But it's more so our effects and the things that we're doing, and it's also it's a defense of unit thing. Also, the rush and the coverage together. Mm-hmm. And again, ultimately, it falls on me, and we're working on it. We'll get it done. We've got good players here. We'll have an effort. Today is a third down day, and we're effort and fundamentals, technique, all on pass rush and getting to the quarterback and covering. So it all goes hand in hand and combined. And just very similar to turnovers. You get one, you get two, they come in bunches. Next thing you know, you have a game 5-6 and no one's talking about it anymore. So it's the point right now where, you'd like to have more. We've had a few, but we're certainly working on it and working to get better and not disappointed or down on our guys at all. We just got to keep going and stay the course.
It'd be one thing if they were hitting a bunch of quarterbacks. Yeah. They, like we said, they didn't affect Josh Allen. Not at all this week. At times they got a few pressures on Watson against Cleveland, but in the other two games, he's been sacked 14 times. We got him twice. Right. So you're not doing it enough up to that level. Right. Would you, Tom, from just what you've seen, and I know it creates other problems when you send extra guys, but did they need to be doing more in the way of getting creative instead of just sending the front four and, blitzing linebackers or defensive backs or whatever the case may be?
Well, first of all, I would start with my four being Josh, Eric, Mason, and Trayvon. That's my four. And I would try to keep them in there as much as possible. I would spell them when needed, but those are my guys going in. And I know Mason Smith, still raw. I know he's still got things to do, but I think his presence can help. I think Eric Armstead, okay, you got to play end of times, but his real big, threat is at that inside position next to either Josh or Trayvon and help them and help him get one-on-one so you can beat that guard. That pass rush against the guard in Miami was a beautiful, that was like textbook pass rush from an inside position, that swim move over the top, using his hands, getting around him, and easily sacking the QB. So sacks, look, hits are important for all that stuff, but sacks, I think what we tend to forget about or nobody really talks about is the lost yardage. Right. Now it's 2nd and 17. Now it's, wait a minute, it's 3rd and 18. Like it's a long way to go for a first down. A sack can flip field position, for you. A sack can get you off the field, push them back out of field goal, so they are extremely important. We know this. Hits on the QB, and I get it. Yeah, I want to hit. I want my quarterback looking at the line, the quarterback I'm going against, looking at the line eventually because he's so worried about getting hit so much. We're nowhere near that. But would I bring extra? I would. I want to see Lloyd a little bit more up inside on that A gap and those B gaps. I want to see a little bit of that. I'd start with that if he's healthy. But I would blitz. Look, by the way, Lewican was very effective in blitzing. before he got hurt. I think he's a really good blitzer on the inside. If Miller's the guy, give him a couple shots. He's got a lot of speed. So yeah, but it's got to start with the 4. That's what you're here for. That's why you got paid. That's why we brought you in. That's why you drafted in the second round. That's why you're a first overall pick. This is it, man. You're the front 4. You should be a dominating front 4, at least close to it. So get your together and start dominating. That's where I would start.
Keys to victory coming up before long here. Coming up next, we'll go ahead and go around the National Football League and pick winners. Who do we like? Are we brave enough to say the Jags will get their first victory of the season this weekend? You'll find out coming up on the other side. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
1010XL Weekly is your one-stop shop for all things Jags, college ball, preps, and more. Subscribe to our newsletter today, and you'll be entered to win free tickets to the Packers game this October. Subscribe, just head on over to 1010XL.com and scroll down to the 1010XL Weekly flash page.
Looking for a new vehicle? Take a look at Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Now's the time to save big this summer. Choose from more than 250 new and over 1,000 used and certified pre-owned vehicles on the lot, or shop anytime at Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville.com. Hyundai has one of the top warranties in the business. Lifetime powertrain and a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, plus 3 years free maintenance on a new vehicle. Give us the opportunity to earn your business today. Atlantic Boulevard, Jacksonville, or visit JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Welcome to the family.
Liquid Sunshine, a car wash committed to superior customer service. Like including bug prep done for you every time. Experience the difference, starting at just $10 at Liquid Sunshine Car Wash on Southside near Hogan Road.
Hey gang, Prosser here, telling you once again about Chad and Sandy Newman. Mortgage rates are down, creating more active buyers and sellers. If you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home before more homes flood the market, driving down prices. So maybe you want guaranteed no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. They can handle that. You see, Chad and Sandy can take every problem you think you have and replace it with a promise. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. The success stories are rolling in. Mike and Lisa in McCormick. We inherited a family home that came with equity but also a mortgage. We needed to sell fast to avoid extra expenses on a second mortgage. We heard about Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. Everything they say on the radio is true. The home sold in 3 days for full asking price. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
Jacksonville contractors and business owners, do you need bathroom partitions and accessories? Frank Frangie here. Coyle & Sons has been in business in Jacksonville since 1927. They've earned the reputation of quality and specialized skill. Coyle & Sons are the ones trusted in Jacksonville by the top contractors, and they can stand on their reputation when you need almost 100 years of commercial contractor experience. Coyle & Sons will design it for you. Call them today at 904-356-4821 or visit them at coiljacks.com.
Get the latest on the Gators from one of the greatest Gators.
Touchdown, Gators!
Chris Doring joins Dan and Jeff on The Drill Tuesday morning on 1010XL. Go Gators! Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah.
Sports fans, JJ LaSalva here. When I need to send my bride flowers or a plant for birthdays or anniversaries, I always go with Hume Flowers. After all, they've been the leading florist in these parts for over 75 years. You can always rely on Hume Flowers.
I-9 Sports wants to make sure kids all over the First Coast can enjoy growing up on a field or in a gym. And right now, fall and winter registration is open. Find out what I-9 Sports offers across Duval, Clay, and St. John's. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Family owned and managed for 20 years, Hidden Hills Golf Club boasts a unique and welcoming golfing atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to book your next round on our Arnold Palmer signature course. You'll be glad you did.
Good people drink good beer, and great people drink Mocama, a refined craft brewery out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Mocama Beer Company brings sophisticated flagship beers, including Cosmico IPA and Dune Garden Lager, to the greater Jacksonville area. Whether you're hitting the water with friends or enjoying a backyard barbecue, Mocama has the perfect beer for your summer activities. Look for us wherever great beers are sold and find your Mocama.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's number 55.
Tom McManus.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
All right, it's time to pick them, or at least lay out what we think is going to happen around the National Football League this weekend, but not before reviewing the carnage. That was
Last week was ugly.
Number 3. Let's see. Tony, you actually had a winning record, but you didn't have the most points of the week. Tom McManus did not have the most points nor a winning record last week. Tom, you were 20-10 in the first 2 weeks, which was outstanding. Even picking them straight up, that's really good.
I got killed.
You did. You went 5-10 last week. It was rough.
I take my medicine. It was a terrible week of picks.
You missed your top 5. Your 5 most confident selections went down the tubes. 31 points for you last week. So you have a 181 total. I went 8-7 last week. And snuck out 69 points out of that. I hit 2 of my top 3 selections. Those were the only in the top 3 that anybody hit. Tony went 9-6, but good for 61 points. But Tony has the overall lead. It's 201. I've got 197. Tom's got 181. And the way we do it, plenty of time to go. Another 5-10 out of you, though. It could be all over.
5-10.
So we rank them in reverse order. The first one we give is the most confident since there are 15 games. That one's worth 15 points all the way down to our least confident output, number 1. Tony, I guess I had the most points, so I'll go first. Okay. How about that? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. I'm not going to change. I've got San Fran on the 15-point line, beating New England at home. I'm going to trust Kansas City to go on the road against the L.A. Chargers and get it done. Maybe no Justin Herbert. Maybe there will be. And I'm going to take a chance on the Jets at home, kind of rounding into form. Denver coming across country. Don't think they're all that spectacular. Taking a chance. So San Fran, Kansas City, and the Jets. Tony Smith.
I'm playing a streak here at 15. I have not hit my 15-point game yet this year. I'm counting on that to continue.
I haven't either, by the way.
I'm taking Houston to beat Jacksonville on the 15-point line to put the jinx on them.
He says he's doing it to put the jinx on, Tone.
I desperately want to lose this game. I haven't won the 15-point game yet. That's what I'm doing. San Francisco over New England on 14 and Las Vegas over Cleveland on the 13-point line.
Tom McManus
16-1 to not pick it up.
And I'm trying to put the jinx on Houston. I'm trying desperately. I have no more arrows to shoot.
This this sounds like a D-Rock-ish move right here.
Kind of does.
It feels to me like I'm going to take advantage. I have zero confidence. All right, hey, you're entitled to put them wherever you like. Tony's got Houston, San Fran, and Vegas was your 13-point game.
Correct.
All right, Tommy, what do you got?
Okay, at 15, I got Pitt on the road at Indy.
Pitt.
14, I got the Rams beating the Bears, and I got Cincy on the road beating Carolina.
All right.
At 13.
There you go. A lot of road dogs there. Road
40 dogs
winners.
and road dogs. They go together.
I'm taking those same 3 teams in the next 3 picks. I've got the Rams on the 12-point line. I've got Pittsburgh at 11 over Indianapolis, and I, too, am taking Cincinnati over Carolina. Cincinnati's defense is so bad that I think Carolina actually has a puncher's chance in this game. But anyway, that's what I got. 12, 11, and 10. Tone.
12, I got Cincinnati over Carolina. 11, Kansas City over Los Angeles. And 10, the New York Jets over Denver.
All right, so we're pretty similar up top. Tommy, your next 3.
12, I've got San Fran at home. 11, Vegas at home. 10, Miami at home.
Miami at home. Who's playing quarterback for him this week?
I don't know. I don't
Huntley.
He's terrible.
What if it's Tim Boyle?
He can do it.
I'd put Miami on the negative 15-point
He's gonna
line
do it.
if Tim Boyle is the starting quarterback.
You never know, man.
I do never know. This is correct. I've got Vegas on the 9-point line. So you can get that win against Cleveland. I'm going to take Buffalo against Baltimore. This one, Buffalo looks so good. But I feel like, I think this is going to be like 34-31. I honestly do. I think it's going to be a shootout, but I'm taking the Bills. I've like no confidence in any of the remaining picks. I've got Atlanta over New Orleans on the 7-point line.
9-point line for me. I'll take Tampa over Philadelphia. I'll take Indy over Pittsburgh on the 8-point line, and Arizona over Washington at 7.
Okay.
All right. Number 9, your hometown Jags on the road coming away with a victory.
All
Number
right.
9. Number 8, New Orleans taking down Atlanta. And number 7, the Jets beating Denver.
Okay, Tommy Mack back in the Jags, worth 9 points this week. So I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Let's see, 6, 5, and 4-point games. I'm going to take Washington over Arizona. I'm going to take Houston to win the game. It's just how it is. We'll give our official scores a little bit later on. And I'll take the Tampa Bay Bucks as well at home against the wide receiver depleted Philadelphia Eagles. Tony.
6, I'll take Tennessee over Miami. 5, Green Bay over Minnesota. And 4, Atlanta over New Orleans.
Okay, Tommy Mack.
6, Buffalo taking down Baltimore. 5, Seattle beating Detroit. And 4, Washington beating Zona.
Okay. What was the whistle for?
I had to find
Lost your
4.
place? Okay. It's all good.
I had to fill some space.
Right on. All right, final 3.
Tick-tock.
Like Tony, I'm taking Green Bay to knock off Minnesota. I'm taking Tennessee to beat Miami on Monday Night Football. And the other Monday night game, I'm taking Detroit simply by the virtue of being at home. That obviously on the 1-point line is the toughest decision for me this week. Tone, what do you got?
3, I got Chicago over the Rams. 2, Detroit over Seattle. And 1, Baltimore over Buffalo.
Okay, and Tommy Mack.
Number 3, I got Minnesota beating Green Bay. 2, I've got Philly beating Tampa. And number 1, I've got the Chargers beating Kansas City at home.
How about that? Any particular reason other than...
I don't know. I just got...
Casey's not been blowing everybody out.
Yeah, no, they've kind of been iffy around the road. It's a divisional game.
Herbert, they say about 3/4 likely to play. Like any, that number, of course, comes from someone who has not actually worked on Justin Herbert. So that's where we're at. All right.
No Bosa, though, for that game for the Chargers, for sure.
Yes, correct. So that's a big help for, like, Patrick Mahomes needs it. I've got San Fran, Kansas City, New York Jets, L.A. Rams, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Vegas, Buffalo, Atlanta, Washington, Houston, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Tennessee, and Detroit in that order. Tony rolling with the Texans on the 15-point line. The 49ers, the Raiders, the Bengals, Chiefs, Jets, Buccaneers, Colts, Cardinals, Titans, Packers, Falcons, Bears, Lions, and Ravens. And Tommy Mack going Pittsburgh, L.A. Rams, Cincinnati, San Fran, Las Vegas, Miami, Jacksonville, New Orleans, New York Jets, Buffalo, Seattle, Washington, Minnesota, Philadelphia, and the L.A. Chargers. One thing we haven't, since we got a few minutes, let's just talk about the secondary here. Okay. Darnell Savage, which it seems to be iffy that he's got. It looked like he was set to return, and maybe he still will play.
Right.
You don't have Savage. You don't have Tyson. If Nico Collins is not hampered by the hamstring injury that he picked up yesterday, we don't know to what extent he was limited, but if they get moderate pressure, on C.J. Stroud, how do you think this secondary holds up this week?
I think they'll hold up fine, but you got to get pressure. They're not going to hold up fine if you don't have pressure. They're going to get killed. And they just are. It's hard to cover in the NFL when you don't have pressure. So I think you got to start with that. And look, if you watch, and I'm assuming we watched Minnesota last week, they pressured him a ton. I mean, he was almost. I don't want to say he was rattled, but he was pretty close.
He was getting hit a lot through picks. He was getting banged up pretty good.
Yeah, you got to bang these guys up, man. Ruin their day. So hopefully we can do that. But look, I'm a big believer in you got to have pressure. I don't care if you're playing man or zone. You got to have pressure, unless you got. I don't know, Sauce Gardner maybe. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you got a guy like that, okay.
Patrick Surtain.
There's not a lot of guys like that out there, so you got to have that pressure.
Maybe if we had Tyson Campbell, but it's hard to know.
Yeah, right.
No. Who knows what kind of season he'd be having right now.
You got to mix it up. And look, I'm calling out the front four, whoever it is. Whoever's out there, you guys got to get to that quarterback. Outside guys, inside guys together, you all got to get there, man.
No reason why they shouldn't be able to.
I totally
based
agree.
on the pressure that Houston has allowed this year.
Totally agree.
So it's not like they're this perfect team out there just steamrolling everybody.
And look, you're expected because of your status on the team to be one of the better groups of players on the team. At least with three out of the four.
When two of your two top guys return as the most productive sack pair in the National Football League, absolutely you're expected to be more productive at this point in time. All right. I imagine getting pressure on C.J. Stroud will be high on everyone's list of keys to victory, but we'll do the roundtable when we return, and we'll check in on some of yours as well. It is a Keys to Victory Friday. That's your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. What are your 3 keys for the Jaguars to come out with their first win of the season this weekend? We'll discuss in our final segment coming up next on Jaguars Today here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle with lifetime warranty, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. Best price, best payment, best trade-in value, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. With a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there is always a little room for wiggle.
Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the 4th annual Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, October 4th through 6th at Timuquana Country Club. Get your tickets now, starting at just $25 for grounds passes. And if you're a country music fan, grab your tickets to see Brothers Osborne at Daly's Place Tuesday, October 1st for the Furyk Foundation concert sponsored by Ring Power. Learn everything you need to know at ConstellationFurykandFriends.com.
Joe C. for Hard Rock Bet. It's the sports book for every kind of player. Straightforward, simple enough for the first-time bettor, but built with all the features experienced players expect. Plus, try it now. If your first bet doesn't hit, you'll get a bonus bet back up to $100. Easy deposits and fast withdrawals. PayPal, Venmo, and more. All you have to do to get started is download the Hard Rock Bet app. Go online, hardrock.bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. One of the biggest changes we've seen in fine jewelry over the last 25 years has been the growth of jewelry designers. At Underwoods, we're the leader, bringing to North Florida the best names in designer jewelry. In fact, we carry designer lines in a similar way to how clothing stores carry designer labels. The difference is that jewelry designers have to be a little more timeless in their presentations because nobody wants to buy a fine piece of jewelry only to find out the next year it's gone out of style. That's why you'll find at Underwoods the best of the jewelry designer names, those that are tried and true and popular. Names like David Yerman, Roberto Coin, John Hardy, Marco Bichigo, Jude Francis, Lagos, Hippolyta, and a lot more are all available right now at Underwoods. So if you want the best looks in designer jewelry, stop by Underwoods, San Marco, Avondale, or the shops upon Avedra.
If your high school student is a high performer, they could be 1010XL Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
And the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Wednesdays on The Frangie Show.
On 1010XL.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality product and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Hey, Hicken here. Are you tired of having your carpets professionally cleaned only to have them looking dingy again? Zero Res can help. I'll tell you what, they have the technology. Zero Res uses its patented ZR water that cleans beautifully without using any soaps, detergents, or shampoos. That means zero residue left behind. And guess what? Zero Res falling back in time for September. 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129, and we'll clean a 4th room for free. That's right. The 4th room is on me. Zero Res, man. Spell it forward. Zero Res, spell it backwards. It's a right way to clean.
If you want someone who will pump out the problems, vote for the Duck.
Call Duck Duck Rooter, your 5-star Google-rated septic company. DuckDuckRooter.com.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. DuckDuckRooter.com.
If you're searching for a new fence installation, challenge yourself to find a fence company with more positive online reviews than Superior Fence and Rail. With over 3,000 reviews and a 4.9 out of 5 review range, Superior Fence and Rail is, well, superior. So take the online challenge or let their professional team show you what superior service looks like. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Cold beer and good grub. That's what you'll get at Taps on 210. Just a great neighborhood feel where friends and family get together. Check out Taps in the Winn-Dixie Plaza, just west of 95 on County Road 210, proudly supporting our 9 After 5 weekly. Head there for a cold one.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars' Thursday injury report had 10 names on the list. 7 players were limited, and 3 did not practice on Thursday. Tight end Evan Ingram did not practice with a hamstring injury. Linebacker Foye Oluwakan remains sidelined with a foot injury. And a new addition to the Jaguars' injury report on Thursday was linebacker Devin Lloyd. Lloyd was listed on the report for the first time this week with a knee injury. Meanwhile, the Texans' injury report bears watching. Wide receiver Tank Dell has not practiced at all this week with bruised ribs and is unlikely to play, according to reports. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, hopefully the Jags offense will actually heat up. The defense will cool down the Texans this weekend, and the Jags will get their first dub. Tommy, we were just talking on the break here, me, you, and Tony, about how wouldn't we just love a week of – we don't want to bash on them. We want them to do well. We want to celebrate them. And let's go out and beat the Texans by 14 points and feel like maybe we can turn this whole damn thing around.
Without a doubt, man. That's what makes Jacksonville special. You know, we live and die by this team during the fall, and when they lose, we all, are a little ticked off. I know I am. And it gets aggravating after a while. It almost gets, like, come on, man.
People start picking at each other. Like, fans argue with each other on social media.
We had a lot of promise for this team going in, so hopefully they can turn it around and all next week can be just good stuff, that they came away with a victory out in Houston.
All right, Dylan, fire it up, buddy.
10-10 Take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 Take. Brought to you by
Double checked. Cybersecurity made simple.
All right, keys to victory. Little roundtable edition. You bat lead off, Tommy. I have a feeling I know where you're going, but that's fine because we got plenty of them.
Well, listen, I think we've got to try to keep running the football.
Oh.
I do.
Okay.
I do on offense. Look, we all know the guy's got to play better, but overall, I think the running game has been sufficient. Could be better at times, but have had some really good plays at times. I think both ETN and Tank have done nice jobs. You got to watch the penalties, right? Can't have those things just kill you. You know, they kill drives, they kill momentum, they kill plays. You have a good play, and you're like, holding or illegal or a false start or whatever it ends up being. So, but yeah, let's see if we can pound the football on them. They give up 4.1 a carry, so that's that's doable.
Yeah,
get around 4 yards.
Jags are averaging like 5.4.
5.4, right?
Yeah,
and ETN had a good. He was 11 of 68, I think, last week.
Yeah,
something
that's
like
over 6 a carry.
Right. So let's go.
All right, run the ball effectively. I didn't expect that one as number one, Tony.
For me, I'll go Houston is fourth in the NFL with 13 sacks coming into the weekend. How does the Jaguars offensive line hold up against Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, Derek Barnett, who's got a couple of sacks? Mario Edwards has, I think, a sack and a half. They don't even have Danico Autry as part of what they're doing yet, and they're already as effective as they are as a group here early on in the season. The tackles, especially when they're lining up against Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, how are they going to handle that on Sunday? So that would be the top of my list.
All right, well, I'll take the low-hanging fruit.
Sure.
And look, we all probably feel that this is one of the keys, but Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker, and the rest of that D-line show up. And look, you can play the run on the way to the quarterback this week. If it's Cam Akers, I don't think, now watch him go for 10 yards a pop, but he's not, in my opinion, a special back. Focus your attention on C.J. Stroud. If you get burned once or twice because they catch you in the right look with a run, so be it. With Cam Akers, I don't think that's usually going to be a 40, 50-yard play. So get some damn pressure and hit C.J. Stroud. It's not just the pressure. I want to hit this guy. He's skinny, man. He's not this big, thick body out there. And we were talking, Tom, I think you might even mention on the air that it looked like they rattled him a little bit last week and that things started to snowball. So have him seeing ghosts out there a little bit. If you get some pressure, Laramie Tunsil had like 5 procedure penalties called on him last week. Get in his head a little bit. He's great at pass blocking. We just showed you the numbers, or we talked about him earlier in the hour. He's been fantastic. But if you can have a little bit of success, maybe you get him thinking. And certainly other teams have done that because Stroud's been sacked 11 times in 3 games. So turning around, Tony says, protect your guy. I say don't let them protect their guy.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to look at our own quarterback. He's got to perform better this week.
Sure.
I saw a stat that we're last in the league on third down on offense, and his completion percentage on third down is 21.4%. Some goes into that, not just him, but he's got to, come on, you got to make routine throws, make these throws. I know you're going to make some big plays because you do. You make some really good plays, but let's get more consistent with getting the ball into your playmakers' hands. And I think if Trevor, look, sometimes, what do they say? You're only as good as your quarterback sometimes, right? So let's go. Forget about 3 weeks. Learn from whatever you got to learn from, and let's focus and get this thing done and get you back on track.
I think that third down thing for Trevor could play into something that I mentioned earlier, and I'll include it as a key right now. I think they need something to happen early in this game that releases the pressure that they're feeling. They need something good to happen for them, and that doesn't have to be Trevor converting third downs, but it could be. That they get a couple of those opportunities on their first offensive drive and convert them as opposed to punting it away, which is what they've done through the first 3 games of the season. It could be their first turnover of the year, right on the other side of the ball. But something good needs to happen for the football team on the field early just so everyone can relax at some point early in the game. Because if they don't get something good early, I think the pressure just builds and builds and builds. And then we'll see. I wouldn't expect anything good to be the result of that kind of thing happening. So something good happened for somebody early in this football game.
Who was our one of our co-hosts this week mentioned, hey, if we win the toss, take the damn ball.
Yeah.
And just
was
set the
D-Rock.
tone. Was it D-Rock? Okay.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I tried to block out everything he said after he took Nico Collins.
Yeah, because you want, especially this offense. Come on, get them out there. Let's go. Let's get them going. Not have to wait for a drive.
That's not my key, but I did kind of go along with what Tony was saying right there. Look, one of the positive things that may happen, and not offensively, but create some damn turnovers, man. I mean, something like, even if it's lucky, even if you don't create it, take advantage of an opportunity. If the ball's on the ground, if they just flat drop it, you got to be the one who's getting on top of it. Make that big hit. on special teams that pops the ball loose and gives you a short field. If you get your hands on the ball, and they've had their hands on a couple of footballs and haven't made the play, make that play. I mean, nothing is going to help you more than that quick change type situation. And if you can get, Stroud threw a couple of picks last week because he was under pressure in part. Get a pick, get a fumble recovery, whatever, but then take advantage of it, but create those extra opportunities for your offense.
Yeah, good news on Trevor. I read where when he targets Brian Thomas Jr., his rating's like 97.5 or something like that. It's a really good rating. So let's target Brian Thomas Jr. a little bit more.
Here's an
idea. We tried Monday night a little bit, but
he had 9 targets Monday.
Yeah. They tried. Got to keep going. Get that chemistry going. But I think that I would add Kirk, but I don't want to steal anybody's. But yeah, Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah,
sure.
Kirk had 10 on Monday night. Kirk had 10. Brian Thomas Jr. had 9 targets Monday. Houston, to me, is a team that doesn't rely on their run game, but it's pretty clear, especially with what we saw this past weekend, they're better with Joe Mixon playing than without him playing. He's not going to be out there. Their top 2 running backs not going to be out there. We'll see if their two of their top 3 receivers will be out there this week. I don't think they need a monster run game, but it's clear to me Houston needs something from the run game to get into everything else they want to do offensively. And when you take that away from them, they become pretty darn pedestrian on that side of the football. So I'll put the number at 75 yards in my head. Jaguars hold Houston under 75 rushing yards this week. They win the game.
I think they have an excellent chance to do that.
I do too.
Yeah, I really do. But I think they have an excellent chance to do that and have Houston still, if you're not getting pressure, Houston may just go, hey, you know what? We'll get 50 yards out of Cam Akers, and if we're throwing the ball over the lot, that'll be fine.
It'll be a big Diggs week for them. We'll see how good that chemistry is here.
Yeah, we'll see. I will say just cut down the mental errors. Right? I'm not saying you can eliminate them entirely. Every team probably has a few every game, right? But particularly without Foye Oluokun on the field, can't have guys after a play like looking at each other like, that was you should have been here. And we see too much of that, and it like just the basics. You're going to get beat physically sometimes. Yeah. If you get beat mentally, you're making it exponentially harder on your football team. So try as much, and that goes along with the offensive, getting the play in on time, getting up to the line, not having the clock tick down to 3 seconds, and we're in panic mode trying to get the play off. Just to do the little simple mental things to put yourself in position to excel physically. All right, one more time around.
Well, I've been all offense, so I'm going to stick with the offense.
Okay.
I also read this morning that Houston's defense is one of the top defenses give up the most touchdowns from the slot position. Did you see that at all this week?
I did not.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, Kirk, when it last year when he had that little whirly bird thing and he took off and had the touchdown, right? Right? Get him one-on-one, get that chemistry back. Look, I think he had a good game last year, but I got to call out Captain. You got to catch that touchdown pass. You just have to. You still had a good game, but you would have had a phenomenal game if he caught that pass, in my opinion. So, got to help the QB out. He's got to help you out as well. But, yeah, get Kirk involved in this underneath one-on-one in the slot.
I've been largely frustrated through the first 3 weeks about their tendency to substitute for guys that I think could be on the field for 100% of the snaps, and it doesn't hurt you for your 2 linebackers to be on the field all the time. Well, maybe this week it pays dividends that Ventrell Miller has played a little bit of football for this team in the first 3 weeks. Hopefully it does with Foye not being available for the team against Houston.
All right, I think we'll all agree with this last one here. Act like you have some level of desperation, some intensity. Like this flat, when a team comes out and repeatedly just goes right down the field and scores touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, and you're going 3 and out. It's like, what?
Yeah.
They're starting so slow. We saw it in the home opener against Cleveland. They were flat. I'm not saying that you have to be a bunch of screaming maniacs, but you better realize if you lose this game, it's over. If you win this game, there's a decent chance you're still not making the playoffs. But if you want to put yourself back in the conversation, this is such an opportunity here for you. The division has not been great. It's not running away from you. You saw Houston. It wasn't like Houston lost on a last-second play. They can be had. So go out there and be the team that gets them. I don't care if it's by a point or 10 points or whatever the case may be, but play with that passion and intensity that you feel like your back's against the wall, and it should be evident by the way we see them flying around on the field.
Urgency.
Yes.
Every play, man. Like it's a playoff game, and it matters. Like every single play could affect the outcome of this game. So have some urgency to doing your damn job.
What's your score, Tommy Mack?
I got him. Like I said, I got to win a 21-19. I'm going with 21-19.
19.
Yep.
Okay, Tony.
Houston 23-17.
23-17. That was my pick last week. I'm just trying to be real here. Houston 31-14. Okay. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but
that's woodshed. Whatever. Hey, listen, they got to answer the bell. Look. Show
me.
You saw it. They were I couldn't figure out which way I was going to go just before we did the picks. Mine's more wishful and hopeful that they're just going to turn around because I do think they have enough talent. I thought they had enough talent last year. I thought it was more attitude and mental and lack of grit and all that stuff. And I feel that this way, like you just said, how do you have plays where you're looking around, hey, it's your fault. It's your professional defense. Don't give me this crap. It's up to you to go out there and perform and get it done. So I'm just hopeful that they can finally turn this around and put some wins together. 0-4, we know the stat, but just get to 3-3.
Like,
all right, just get
it.
to 3-3.
I feel like it's so much hope though. Like I don't see any evidence of why I expect it to happen. Right?
I agree.
And
I can't give you evidence,
and it could happen because in sports, things like that.
Anything,
you're like, how did this happen? Right? Where did this come from? And you look back and all right, maybe this is what we should have expected. This, but weird things do play out in sports, and I hope. And don't get me wrong. If the Jags go down, even if they kick a field goal on their opening drive and they're up 3-0, I'm going to be like, oh, they're going to beat that A today, right?
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I want to be.
Yep.
I just don't believe it. Show me. Change my mind.
No, and I think a lot of it is just studying, not just the playbook, but the tendencies. You got to know what they could be doing on any given play, both sides of the ball. So. Hopefully they got, they got their heads in their books, man. It takes a lot. Look, if you could just show up and use your athletic ability all day, that'd be fantastic. But at the end of the day, you can't. You got to know what you're doing out there, for sure.
LB knows what she's doing.
Look at her. She's a pro, man.
She is woman handling this chair.
She is like,
she's
get
not
over
man
here.
handling it. She's woman handling it. Dylan.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
LB, not that you can't handle your own business, but there's not a gentleman among us, okay? You're like, look at Lauren dragging that chair around.
It's the carpet in here that makes it slightly more challenging. If we had the hardwood floors, it would have been nice.
That's right.
Here's what I
slide right
understand.
through.
Like if you're not gonna sit in the chair, why do you have to move it from behind the desk? Like if you're not using why wouldn't it just stay there the whole time?
I don't know. I didn't know it wasn't there until Lauren came in, to be honest with you.
Right.
I wasn't even paying attention.
Times before the show, we will move all the chairs back.
I should have just stood and held the microphone out.
It is what it is. What are we doing today on Helmets and Heels?
We are going to talk about how the Jaguars can actually beat the Texans. And even though I know I don't believe it, but there are certainly ways for this team to get off the mat. So why not talk about that? And also we'll have Roger Hoover on. He used to call games for the Jacksonville Suns and then the Jumbo Shrimp, and then now out in Alabama. So we'll talk to him about that matchup between Georgia and Bama. It's going to be obviously a fun Saturday night watching that. By the way, I had a tree limb fall in our backyard, so I'm thankful today for chainsaws.
Yeah. Somebody got out early with the chainsaws in St. Augustine. There were a couple that would have blocked my path.
Oh, okay.
But not in my direct neighborhood, but before I got on the highway, it would have caused untold delay.
Yeah.
But now I was honestly surprised from my neck of the woods, man. It was like felt like hardly a breeze.
Oh, good.
Yesterday. So for all those affected, we're thinking about you. And if you're still without power, hopefully that's getting restored as quickly as possible as well.
Yeah, we definitely did not have power for about 5 hours last night, and you're not appreciative enough for air conditioning until you try to sleep without it.
Yeah, it woke me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the heat. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's hot.
Normally I sleep through everything. But
What do you set it at when you sleep?
We're like 74, maybe 75. Not too cold.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, we're 73.
Yeah, at night.
And it stayed like I never didn't I think he went out for like 3 hours.
To be honest with you, I get more worried about the fridge.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
I need that food.
Yeah, and the beverages.
Just don't open it. It'll be fine.
That's right.
It'll be fine for a few hours.
It will, no doubt.
All right, LB, have a great show and
Thanks
a good
so much.
weekend.
You too.
And good luck to our Jacksonville Jaguars. Tommy Mack, Dad Bods,
Tomorrow
Neptune
night,
Beach.
Neptune Beach at the local. 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
All right.
And I'm about to jump on Catching Up with Tommy Mack on 1010XL's Facebook page. So if you want to come join me.
All right, check that out. Tony and Dylan, what do you guys do without high school football on Friday night, Tony?
I'll watch probably some college football tonight.
Okay.
Will be the way it goes, and then a little bit more tomorrow, and then head out to the stadium on Sunday.
Pockets, you breaking down film or you breaking out the White Claw?
The White Claw. I got to work tonight.
You do?
And then I got the White Claw.
You need a drive-in movie theater, Tony, is what you need tonight.
I need something. Well, what I need is the Braves to actually play a game, but I'm not sure they're even going to get that in Kansas City tonight. This is a mess of a last series for the Braves.
It is weather impacting, no question about it. All right, everybody have a good weekend. Look, we hope we're celebrating our first victory Monday of the season. Absolutely. And it's up to the Jags to determine whether that happens or not. So we'll join you all day for game day on Sunday right here in your home for the Jaguars on 1010XL. For Tom McManus, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark, all of our hosts all week long, I'm Mike Dempsey. We appreciate you tuning in. Go Jags.